Okay, folks, how you doing? Well, I just wanted to show you a little New Year's Eve presentation from Joe Biden. I don't know what else to say about this guy. I will never ever call him by what he supposedly is, which is a president. He will always be Vice President Biden to me. And oh, another one too, Senator MBNA. When MBNA Bank was around, I remember they said that in historically since he's from Delaware and that's where all those banks are, that's where all those credit card companies, banks, Capital One, they all have their headquarters there because it's tax free. And he was always going to bat in Congress for the interests of MBNA, and they would pay him handsomely and lobby him handsomely for his efforts on behalf of them. So, he does have a legacy of just helping the poor and the needy. And so, of course, he's going to go to bat right away for a big corporate bank like MBNA. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this here. This was his commentary, which is always fun, on New Year's Eve last night. And Jill Biden looks like she's just about to sink in between her shoulders, and her head's just going to disappear right into that neck hole. So let's go ahead and look at this. Ryan Seacrest, who also, Ryan Seacrest is another, I don't even know if he's human, actually. I'll be honest. I think he's an AI construct. I think he was probably one of the first early experiments in AI. And they just built on that. And now they have a animated kind of shell to work with here. So ever since he did American Idol. So let's go ahead and listen to Ryan talking to Joe and Jill here.
A lot of jobs back in the United States.
Okay, let me rewind it.
As you look back and reflect on 2023, what sort of memories, highlights stand out for you?
Well, one of the big highlights stands out for me is my dad used to have an expression. He'd say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. So many people through the Midwest and the center of the country, their factories were shipped overseas the last couple of times out, and they were losing hope and faith. So we brought a lot of jobs back to the United States. People are in a position to be able to make a living now, and they've created a lot of jobs, over 14 million. And I guess I just feel good that the American people got up. They've been through a rough time with pandemic, but now we're coming back. They're back.
Huh. Okay, well, of course, there's a ton to say here, but all I'm going to say about that is, like they say here, Steve Guest says, scary. Biden's brain is pudding. Okay, now I would heartily agree, and I know probably the majority of the world agrees. This guy is so hopped up on amphetamines. Apparently, he's doing this broadcast from St. Croix because his family, the Biden crime syndicate, is now on holiday vacation down in the Virgin Islands in St. Croix. So they're down there and at their mansion, whatever, don't care. And here's the thing. This guy is so hopped up on amphetamines because I've heard that. I've heard that on like Joe Rogan, a couple other people who talked about this, including Dan Bongino, who was a Secret Service person. They do these type things. They keep this guy hopped up on uppers like amphetamines and stuff pretty much all day long. And I think that's why his naps are so big, so long. And also he's freaking old. And he's losing it. He's got massive dementia. I mean, I don't know. If you haven't admitted that yet, like if people are not willing to admit that that is going on, then you're lying. Okay, I'm just calling it for what it is, folks. You're just lying. And, leave it up to the mainstream media to never mention this. Also, he must need some benzos to take his naps too, because I'm sure he's just propped up with amphetamines throughout the day. And they just kind of have to keep him on a roller coaster of uppers and downers to keep him actually animatronic, I would say, because it's more like you would see those animatronic dwarves at Christmas time at the mall. They just are mechanical, but they do the movements, like the happy holidays, ta-da, happy holiday, And so I'm thinking this guy's the same way. And you look at his eyes, too, his eyeballs. And I don't even know if there's a person in there anymore. And so let's go ahead and see what people have said about this. This is a simple and straightforward question. There was another one. I'm not going to show the video because I just can only stand about under a minute of watching that guy. But there is another video, same place, New Year's Eve, and I think they asked him about chocolate chip ice cream, all this crap. Obviously, everything he just spewed out is a lie. The country is failing. The country is under a controlled demolition. The gaslighting is so bad. They didn't even practice their gaslighting. It's terrible. Inflation is off the scales. What is it? The worst in like 40 or 50 years now. Housing is at an all-time high. Highest interest rates since like 1980. And people are only getting jobs back because these are the jobs they lost because of the pandemic. And nothing from overseas when he says, well, we're getting our jobs back here to the people in America and the Midwest. They always say Midwest, just like, hey, you want votes? Just say the word Midwest. And nobody's buying it. Not a soul is buying this, except probably about 2% of people on the left who are still just these avid and rabid Biden lovers. And also they probably watch CNN 24 hours a day. I know this because I was at I was at a function and some old lady was like, well, and it had nothing to do with the meeting we were having at all. And she just suddenly goes, well, I don't know, but I'm not afraid of Elon Musk. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't say that, but I was like, oh, okay. This is a woman who probably watches CNN most of the day. She's retired and she sits in an armchair and watches CNN, just like no filter, puts a hose. I think if you're gonna be a CNN news watcher, they should just send you a TV with a hose attached, and then as soon as you turn on CNN, it just floods your mouth with the propaganda from CNN with no filter at all. No thought either, because it's more comfortable to feel safe than rock the boat and actually go, wait, are they telling me the truth or is this pure bullshit? And we know it is bullshit. So, of course, Biden's brain is pudding. So it's always the people's comments that I love because, yes, I love the people's comments. I think they're some of the most creative. And people have said, Janice says they look so relatable, sitting there on in their formal attire while vacationing in Saint Croix. Sorry, I lived in France for a long time. I say French words with a French accent. I'm not trying to get snooty or anything. I totally get it. But I say those words. So Saint Croix, however people say it, so relatable. Just your average people who can understand the plight of average Americans. Yes, so true. What is he even talking about? Well, we don't know. We haven't known for the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years now since he was campaigning. I really don't know what he says. And that gobbledygook, if the audio didn't come through very well, don't worry about it because you get the gist. I could turn the sound off and we could just dub over with just some mumbling from like a 2-year-old child and you would get the same clarity from that. In fact, a 2-year-old child might actually have more clarity. We have no idea, and the scary part is neither does he. So this is Twitchy, this article. We'd be remiss if we didn't take a second to point out the attention the First Lady got for everything about this video. 28 seconds in, and she gives the look of, I'm so sick of him talking and what's up with his face. If you're not looking at the Manchurian Candidate, and I mean, they took all their tips from that story, the Manchurian Candidate, where it actually was the First Lady, or it was the wife of this political candidate who was actually the real snake. And the guy was an idiot. He was an idiot. He was stupid. And my gosh, I'm like, the deep state doesn't even delve that deep to try to get their tips and tricks on how to dupe a country. And so what you've got here is you've got the same scenario, a buffoon, a really stupid man, and a lady who is like controlling this quite a bit, probably directs the nurses to when he needs to take his amphetamines. So what's up with his face? I don't know. I think he's probably gotten a lot of Botox, and there has been some plastic surgeries over the years. He doesn't look the same at all as he used to look. Except I think he still admires his Delaware mullet, his New England mullet, or something like that. I don't know. She's probably concerned he's doing so poorly answering a simple question. Is Jill's resolution to make it look like she doesn't have a neck? The dress and that posture are not doing her any favors. Who styles this woman? Do they hate her? Most likely, yes. Because most of these people on the left are not unified in any way. They just simply want to climb all over each other like a bunch of dying animals to make it to the top of the rat heap. And Steve Guest, let's see, yeah, he's the one who posted this. And then somebody says, oh, either they hate her or she ignores their advice. But why is she dressed for Dia de los Muertos? Well, that's my question, too. And I think that's Day of the Dead, correct? I don't know. But she is dressed for that. And I'm pretty sure that's probably not going on down in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. His brain is pudding, though. Let's see. Jill's sitting there like, I am so sick of hearing about the jobs he didn't create. She looks so miserable. And you'll notice that like this, and Jill's head is sinking into her shoulders. You can tell she's just like, oh my gosh. He probably has handlers talking into his ear for sure. Absolutely. That's for sure. He can't have an unscripted conversation at all at this age. Sorry. It's bouncing around there. And then Jill, I'm pretty sure she's just walking around embarrassed, but she's willing to sacrifice her own dignity. I think that whatever dignity there was, I think it probably went out the window as soon as she met Joe Biden, whatever the hell his name is. Her posture is awful. Jill looks like a mutton dressed up like a lamb. That frock is god-awful. Well, yeah, it usually is. And her handlers or the costume designers probably do hate her. They're probably like, well, she's a white woman and we have to do what she says. I mean, this is probably how they think. Because I'm pretty sure that cabinet is filled with people who probably hate white people anyway. And they're just using this dude. Like he's the mouthpiece, he's the centerpiece, he's the puppet. But meanwhile, they can subvert anything that's like traditional American or white supreme pizza, whatever they like to bring up nowadays that's a problem, or ways to divide society. That dress is hideous, gaudy and ill-fitting, but par for the course for our first lady. She's not my first lady. She's just this woman who had an affair at when she was a teenager, and basically wears curtains for clothes. But I don't know what's that. I guess maybe she likes those things. I mean, that's whatever. You do what you want. Even Dr. Jill is thinking what we are thinking. Well, yeah, she is. She knows that Biden is not doing mentally well. This is true. Forget his brain. I want to know what the fudge she is wearing. It's a bit odd. And so we could go on and on ad nauseum. I'm going to cut it there, but you get the gist. One thing to notice too is he is holding the cue card in his hands here, and it's probably just getting all sweaty, and the ink might be running at this point. And he just wants to get back to a nap. He's got his nap to get to, and it's time to put the party, let's put the party away. And I know all of you out there can totally relate to these two. This guy dressed up like a casual guy who went yachting all day, and then you've got Dia de los Muertos dress going on here, and some golden, black, and yellow balloons in the back. Boy, in this day and age, if you 4chan people or some conspiracy people want to look into that, maybe there's some interesting stuff there with those colors. Who knows? Green, gold, black. I can't really tell. And anyway, there's various requisite decorations put up by White House staff and probably Secret Service people who were delegated to run the food trays at the Christmas party and also put up like the tinsel. So, hey, kudos to you, Secret Service, for getting down there, getting down and dirty, and acting on behalf of the kitchen staff. He was given a softball question about memories from 2023. He can't answer questions. He hasn't held a press conference or answered questions in a long, long time. This is true. He has not. what is he given, like three press conferences, and then he always walks away. Like people ask him questions, and immediately he's out of there, and he's got to take his meds. And the media are wholly incurious and not asking why Biden can't do these simple tests. Well, that's the narrative that they got from the deep state. Do not question anything he does. Just pretend, like 1984 Big Brother, pretend that everything's fine. Put a smile on your face. Get coked up. Like you see with Trudeau. It's common globalism face. See, this is globalism face. It's this face of a puppet that's usually drugged up. So think Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand. Think Justin Trudeau. Think some of these people, they aren't really in charge of their faculties. They're just coked up most of the time. Because I think that's the only way you can get away with keeping a big, broad smile on your face and being yelled at and hated by 99% of the population. They're not upset because they know why he skips them. Legit curious, how many times Biden visited the Midwest this year for something other than a campaign fundraiser? Well, yeah, of course. And every time he goes there, he always talks about, I drove an 18-wheeler. And people just allow this. Like, nobody says anything. Nobody says, dude, no, you didn't. You never drove an 18-wheeler. You'll go to South Carolina. I marched with the civil rights movement back in 1968, and we marched so that blacks would have the rights to go into restaurants and movie theaters, and that never happened. So yeah, he has notes for this, and he still can't follow them. He needs a cheat sheet for the softball list of softball interviews. It's scarier than any of the nonsensical answers. So you get the gist of it. Well, anyway, well done, everybody, and Happy New Year to you. And I wish you and yours the best. I really do this year. For the rest of us, I really do wish a happy holidays. This is probably the one person I won't wish happy holidays to. I just say, hey, I don't know, man. Get cranked up on your amphetamines and benzos or whatever you need to keep afloat in your dementia, and we will be back. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.